What's going on YouTube? Brian back here with another YouTube video, and we are here. This is a reaction video. This is not an episode of Untamed and Uncut. I wanted this to be its own separate video. Now, if you guys didn't know, if you guys been living under a rock, the Red Sox last night fired Alex Cora, the manager, hitting coach Pete Fatsi, third base coach Kyle Hudson, bench coach Ramon Vasquez, assistant hitting coach Dylan Lawson, Major League strategy hitting coach Joe Cronin, and they also fired Jason Varitek, who was their run prevention coordinator. Now, Chad Tracy, the Worcester Red Sox manager, has been named the interim manager for the Red Sox. And Chad Epperson, the manager of the AA affiliate Portland Sea Dogs, has become the interim third base coach, with Colin Hetzler being a part of their hitting staff. So, very interesting scenario here, because a few of these firings weren't surprising to me. For example, Pete Fatsi and Dylan Lawson. I was not surprised with these firings. I feel like those were the main changes that needed to happen if you were going to make a coaching change. Though firing manager Alex Cora really took me aback, and I think it took a lot of people for surprise. You know, Ramon Vasquez, I don't think should have gotten shown the door either. But I also understand it from a perspective, because when you look at this team, you look at the Red Sox, and you realize there's such a lot of young talent on this team. And a guy like Alex Cora is a big league manager. He is a manager for big league players. There is still a lot of development with some of these guys. You look at guys like Roman Anthony. You look at guys like Cedon. You look at Willier, Jaron. There's still some development with these guys that are to be found, and even Brian Bayo as well. So, and while I love Alex Cora, and he is one of the all-time best Red Sox managers of all time, let's not kid ourselves. Third most wins in Red Sox history. You know, that's something to be said with such a historic franchise. Now, in terms of Chad Tracy, let's look at him for a minute. Chad Tracy is the Worcester Red Sox manager, and he's been doing it for a number of years now. I found this on Red Sox payroll on Twitter last night. No, I am not calling it X. So shout out to Red Sox payroll for this. These are current Red Sox players that Chad Tracy has managed during his time in AAA. Roman Anthony, Cedon Rafaela, Willier Abreu, Jarren Duran, Marcelo Meyer, Connor Wong, Connolly Early, Peyton Tolley, Brian O, Greg Weiss, Giovanni Moran, Zach Kelly, Tyler Samaniego, I believe is his first name, Tyler, Romy Gonzalez, Tanner Houck. Those are all currently on the Red Sox major league roster that have been managed by Chad Tracy. So when you bring in a guy like Tracy, there's a familiarity with the young guys. I think that's going to be big for a lot of these guys going forward, because Breslow. Let me see here. It was painful, but yeah, here it is. It was actually Breslow. So Craig Breslow said that he won't put a timeline on Chad Tracy's interim tag and won't rule out hiring a permanent manager this season. So they're still going to look into a new man, Red Sox, and I don't know how I feel about this because I feel like Chad Tracy get a legitimate shot at trying to earn a manager's role here. I don't think it should be a couple weeks. I think we need to evaluate how he does up until the All-Star and look at your results from there. And I think that might be what they end up doing. They might look and see how he's done since from the firing to the All-Star break, which I think is in like July or something. July. And I really hope that this is the type of move that I think this is the move the Red Sox needed. For the fact that of the type of team that this is a team for a players. They're for a. Let's just call it like it is. They're like Caleb Durbin is a 4A. Season, especially with especially with the stuff what we just heard from, which we're gonna go to this right away. As off of Tyler Milliken, he said, where is it? Oh, we have the Red Sox lineup. Oh, here it is. So according to Chris Cotillo, which I didn't find it, he is not happy with the phones. Trevor Story is not happy at all. He's gonna clear the air with Story today, which I think that would explain why he is not in the lineup today. And it's just in the world who didn't fare. This is one of the leaders of, and you, scenario where I believe Trevor Story's on the last year of his contract. If I could be wrong on that, I didn't do my research on that. You know what? Let's look at that quick. Let's take a look at Trevor Story's contract for a quick second here. I do have to switch my default. I don't know why it keeps going back to Yahoo. In November of 2025, in on the remainder 2 years of 55 left on his deal. So he has another year left after this. So I don't know if they're going to release him after the season or they're going to look to trade him. He's 33 years old. I could see where the Red Sox just trade him for nothing and they just bite the bullet on the money after the season's over. But there is also a scenario where, because I think at the end of the day, I think Story is going to leave the Red Sox once his contract is up. I can't see him staying with the Red Sox after this contract is up. I think he's more likely to retire, or as opposed to going to another team. I mean, it's 2 years out. I could be wrong, and it's half the time I am. So, in terms of Story, you have pissed him off, but let's see if they can work this out. Because they could have decided to void an opt-out by adding an extra 1 year to his deal, but they They decided not to do that. So, I don't like how the Red Sox have handled this, especially the front office. Because here's my thing with Red Sox and their current situation. All of this could avoided. All have been avoided. For one reason. I think this team is in a much better position if ownership had bit the bullet and just swallowed their pride, take their balls out of their and given Alex Bregman a no trade clause. I think it's just that simple. All avoided if you had just signed Alex Bregman, because not only did you lose Bregman in terms of the player that he's on the field, but the leadership. I think this is the most important for me. Is the leadership. Okay, we don't get a lot of play like this, and the Red Sox let him walk a no trade clause. To me, it is still one of the dumbest things that they have done. They have made this drivers look defaults. Now you have thing to show for it. All of this fun and hiring in the coaching staff, 27 games into the game, about a half hour, could all been if your pride and decided to out a no clause. Now, granted, is there any guarantee that he would be the same guy that know and love? No, there's no scenario in which there's no guaranteed scenario in which the on the field would be the same as we saw last. But you can't replace that leadership that Alex Bregman had with the Boston Red Sox. You can't It's not their own. It's on the others. It's up the others. No, this could have been avoided. All of this. That's my best takeaway here. This all avoided. All of it didn't, because you were focused on building the Fenway Sport Group into this global empire instead of seeing what you own and actually caring for teams. There's that should focus on. It's this, because the Fenway Frosty. The Red Sox, why you are as successful as you are, finance. They're the main reason. So you want to treat that team like it's your baby. Like you want that team. That is your money maker right there. Red, yeah, they had the Pittsburgh, but I'm pretty sure. Any soccer fans, let me know in the comments down below. Am I right that they own Chelsea, in the Premier League? And I'm pretty sure as many as you want, but you gotta care for them as well. You gotta. To me, this is on ownership. I don't blame Breslow. I don't blame Cora. I don't blame Hudson. I don't blame Vasquez. I don't blame Chad Tracy. And Sam Kennedy. Ever since Larry Luke, it's all gone to shit for the most part. Yeah, had that weird in 2018 and that magical run in 2021. But other than that, what do you have to show for it? You had a promising season last season. You made the postseason like we expected you to. And now I want to build off that. Needed to, and you signed Trevor Story. Is a solid player, I might add. He's a solid player. He's starting to get his groove. Sort of. He got you look at this Red Sox team from the very start. Did you really think this was going to go good? Looking back at all of this, are you really surprised that it went this way? I'm not. I'm not. Because at the end of the day, it's all on ownership. Whatever happens in ownership will also affect below them. From the CBO, this is going forward because you have your coaches now. They're gone. Congratulations to them. You're happy for them. But what's to say that without them, they're not developing the same way? What's to say that? I don't know. I really hope that there is a plan here because all of this could have been avoided. Now, I'm going to get to the main topic of this, aside from the firings and hirings. Why has your most hated Red Sox players, or not players, people, stayed? And I look at two people, Craig Breslow and Bailey, the CBO and the pitching coach. Why is that? Well, it's very simple, actually. You think about what the Red Sox have done in terms of pitching, from the major leagues to the minor league. We're set up for a long time. We have a lot of potential, not just in the major leagues, but in the minor leagues. So we're good for the next 10 years, I think. Especially if you want to focus on pitching from within your organization. I think it'll come with time because let's not kid ourselves. This pitching, all this pitching within the Red Sox has so much potential. He had an amazing season last year. Very good. not the. You got the right coaches in here. Peyton Tolley, Connolly Early. Oh God. Where